Welcome to I Love My HBCU ? The podcast where we express our undeniable love for HBCUs, but where we are also not afraid to address a few tough questions. So, sit back, learn a little, love a lot, and rep your HBCU. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of I Love My HBCU, yes, ? With yours truly, Tosin Richard. I am joined by a delightful gentleman, Marquez Charles. Marquez, say hi to the world.
Hello, everyone. Hey, HBCU family. How are you all doing today?
And even though you are from South Carolina, which one of the illustrious North Carolina HBCUs are you representing today?
I attend the illustrious North Carolina Central University, located in Durham, North Carolina, the Bull City.
Marquez, why do we all call our HBCUs illustrious? Like all of us use illustrious in the introduction. Why?
We're powerful. We're powerful. We're powerful in education. We're powerful in being Black empowerment. So we're powerful. We have to put it in front of it.
You don't think we're overusing it though?
I don't think we're overusing it.
I knew you were going to say that.
I think that it's for us. We have certain cultural aspects that we take on with us, so we keep it close.
I promise I knew you were going to say that. I said, Tosin, if you ask him if it's overused, he's going to tell you no, it is not overused, and we just need to keep using it because it's who we are. I appreciate that. You and I have something amazing in common, and it's the fact that you are an English major at North
Yes.
Carolina Central. Now, has the stigma changed? So when I was an English major, I was literally told by everybody, why are you an English major? Are you just going to go and teach? Is that all you want to do is teach? Is that still the stigma, or what do you hear from people when you tell them that you're an English major?
So that's the funny thing about it. I'm actually my concentration is actually on secondary education. So I also do get a lot of why English, but also my mother is also a writer. She loves to write. So just being able to take that piece of her with me is something I enjoy doing. I love writing. I just wrote a 3-page paper like 30 minutes ago. I love writing. So it's all about just figuring out the techniques of your writing, how to uh, grab the audience, and just it's something about it. I don't know.
And you said that, even though I was teased for it, I am a teacher. I love being a teacher. I have no problems with that. You actually are going into teaching as an English a major. I don't know the statistics. I'm not great with throwing numbers out, but I know that over the last few years now, the statistics of Black men as teachers has gone down. What are your thoughts on the fact that we don't see more Black men as our teachers in classrooms anymore?
Yeah, I actually love this discussion. Believe it or not, but it's simply they see us as something different in the classroom. They see us as discipliners rather than educators. So
Wow.
I actually had a chance to go to the Black Educators Convention in Philadelphia this past November to meet all these great educators. You may know some of them, Dr. Greg Carr of Howard University and Tennessee State alumni, and just be able to compare our differences of being Black in the classroom and being a male minority in the classroom.
Good on you. Good on you. And when I say good on you, most of the time people who ended up teaching stumbled into teaching. I shouldn't say most of the time, but much of the time that I have experienced, most of the people who ended up teaching, they stumbled on teaching because it is one of the professions, at least in the United States of America, that there will be a college loan repayment plan associated with it, or not repayment plan, college loan forgiveness associated with it when you go into teaching. So the fact that I get to speak to Marquez, who it is your mission to actually go into teaching. I honestly think is remarkable.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's something different about it. Education is a calling. It's not a career. It's not a job. It takes a lot more mentorship, being doctors, parents, everything. It takes a lot to be an educator.
Marquez, you said two things that stuck with me just right now. You said that education is a calling. And when you said that, I asked myself, I wonder how many people see it that way. Because if more people saw it that way, I do think that the approach would be a little bit different by some. Because as you know, with every profession, there are good eggs and there are bad eggs. So that's one. But the second one that I want you to lean into, especially you still being a student in university, but specifically at an HBCU, um, you in explaining why you said it's a calling, you shared the different hats that a teacher has to wear. You are the parent, you are the big sister, you are the big brother, you are the guidance counselor, you are the pastor, you are the therapist, you are, Lord have mercy. And we haven't even talked about the fact that you are the educator as well. Knowing that, and you have to be honest, Marquez, sorry, because I get the feeling from the brief conversation that we had before we hit play that you're somebody that's up for a good honest conversation. So
Yes,
you have to be honest with this. Knowing all the hats that teachers wear, and whether you call us professors or not, we're teachers. How much grace do you give professors? Do you think professors get enough grace? So maybe not Marquez himself, but do you think professors at HBCUs with the 1.5 million hats that they have to wear, do you think we get as much grace from our students?
absolutely not. Um, it's a time consuming job. It may not seem like it. When you have four courses that you're teaching and then having a family at home, still having to provide, and then you have students calling you 9 o'clock at night. Sometimes because it's serious matter when you get to college. It's not always easy, and you have to put something on the syllabus. Yeah, educators, especially college professors, don't get enough grace. They don't. It's a lot of work behind it. It's a lot.
I not that I wanted you to, tap us on the shoulder, but I appreciate you admitting that. And to all the Marquezes at different universities and to all of our students at different universities, hold us accountable. Continue to hold us accountable. Continue to demand of us all the things that we should be delivering to you, but also give us grace.
And you
Also
know
give us
what?
grace.
You know what? It's like I don't know how to say it, but college professors are our parents too. They're our parents away from home because, especially being at an HBCU, they push us beyond our limits to be great and to succeed in this world of leaders, of economy. So it's always good to always have a different perspective on how your education looks, especially coming from an educator.
I've heard it said before that HBCU professors who dedicate their life to teaching at an HBCU are no longer just educators, they're fabrics of the community. And I didn't know it until I decided to spend almost 19 years as a college professor at an HBCU. But I resonate better with that now than I did before. And that's going to be you someday soon. You know that, right?
I mean, yes, most definitely. But let's not even say professors, higher education
That's true.
administrators,
That's
faculty and
true.
staff, because it takes a village to raise a child, and that's what they're doing.
That's true. That's true. I love this. We're about to have we already having an amazing conversation. It's about to just get a little juicier along the way. So if you you already told us that you have watched our podcast, so I appreciate it. And so that means you should also know that right about now, I'm about to bless you with the rapid fire segment.
Yes,
Are you ready?
I am.
All right, 67 seconds on the clock, starting after I read this last question. After I read the first question, Marquez, you're at your college graduation. Who do you want as your commencement speaker?
Ooh, Barack Obama.
That is our one, two, third Barack Obama. When do you graduate?
May 2026.
Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. You're going to hear Marquez Charles on I Love My HBCU question mark. Do him the honor of at least acknowledging his graduation, commencement, even if you're not there, May 2026. Okay, Marquez, you're going to be honest. What's your unpopular opinion about HBCUs?
Ooh, dang, that's a hard one.
That's a stumper.
Homecomings. Homecomings. I love all homecomings, but I think it's an unpopular opinion. I think, it's a time of celebration. It's just like a family reunion. We shouldn't have to debate on which one is better. It's a family
Okay,
reunion.
they're all good. He's saying that because he also is in the same state where they say the greatest homecoming on earth exists. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his
I would
face.
not say that. I would not say that. I
I
still.
love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I've eaten up a lot of your time, so I'm still going to ask you a couple more questions. Shout out your favorite professor.
Ooh, my favorite professor would have to go to Mr. Tony Sangute. He teaches Mary Towns statistics and arts and sciences. I think he's one of the best math professors there is. So Tony Sangute.
I wish I had him. I suck at maths. I wish I had had the pleasure of having him. The math is not my thing. Okay, last question. What's the best meal at your HBCU?
Ooh. Best meal will have to be. I'm gonna go for fried chicken Wednesday. I know it's a lot of people say I'm gonna go for fried chicken Wednesday. I love our fried chicken Wednesday. So fried chicken Wednesday. That's probably the only day I go in the cab, honestly. So fried chicken Wednesday.
Another one for fried chicken Wednesdays. Got it. Okay. All right. You are from South Carolina. You are going to college in North Carolina. I want you to please share with the audience how did you get there? What's your college selection journey?
Ooh,
And North Carolina, like Alabama, and a couple of other states, has a lot of HBCUs. So I really want to hear how did you land on this one?
uh. So I'm from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I went to Carolina Forest High School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. A predominantly white institution, pretty much college based. I would, excuse me, I got accepted to 79 universities between
Nice.
PWIs and HBCUs. And as I went through this college process, going to my guidance counselor, working with her constantly, thank you, Miss Clavard at Carolina Forest. I came upon this thing, after doing my research and then after talking to my grandfather, who is alum of North Carolina Central University. It stuck at home that it's time to go home. And so I came home.
So I have been to I call it, is it right to call it the quadrangle? I don't think that's fair. But I've been to North Carolina and I've been to the area of North Carolina Central as well as North Carolina A&T. So I think it's a very interesting rivalry that you guys have. I really
Yes.
do. Tell us what some of the, you know what? Tell us. Okay, you're not gonna like this question, Marquez. Let me just let you. Let me tell you now. You're not gonna like it, but I do this, and I'm okay with you not liking it. Tell me what makes North Carolina A&T an amazing HBCU.
Of course, of course. So if y'all did not know already, which y'all probably don't, I serve as the Associate Vice President of Historically Black Colleges and Universities, as well as Minority Serving Institutions for the State of North Carolina System Association of Student Governments. So I manage almost every public HBCU and MSI in the state of North Carolina with my colleague who's over at A&T as my vice president. So A&T has a rich history. Being starting from the four that Walt, they have a significant history that is very deep rooted, as well as here at Central. North Carolina HBCUs are so different. I don't even know how to explain it. Most of our founders of our university, or the people who help our university thrive and grow, they started at a basement or at Shaw University somewhere. So our universities are special. And I love all of our HBCUs in North Carolina. It may be, it's rivalry, but it's love at home. So I love all HBCUs in North Carolina.
I love it. So A, I love it. B, I'm listening to you and I was like, I wonder, maybe Marquez is going to run for office one day. And here's why. Here's why I said that. I think politicians could take a note, a page from your book. So I watch a lot of content, and typically when you ask a politician to say something positive about a perceived opponent or perceived opposing entity, they struggle. They struggle. But you did not struggle. You gave us the perspective of history, culture, that North Carolina A&T proudly is emboldened by. And that does not mean that North Carolina Central doesn't have just as much history. And I like the fact that even earlier on you said if we could just do away with the faux competitions, because we're not really supposed to be competing against each other, but competing with each other for a goal, that
Yes.
would be amazing. So, okay, thank you so much for humoring me by answering that question, because I did not know how you were going to take it. I didn't know if you were going to be like, listen, I'm not talking about North Carolina A&T over here. This is North Carolina Central that we're supposed to be talking about. Marquez, what do you love the most about North Carolina Central? For those who don't know, for those who've never heard of North Carolina Central as an HBCU, what do they get right? What do you love about what you guys do over there?
North Carolina Central, we're more than a family. Let's put it like that. We're more than a family. Um, we're brothers, we're sisters. And then our founder, the legendary James E. Shepard, and his wife, Annie Day Shepard, they started a footpath for us, and we take pride in that. We're one of one of the first HBCUs in North Carolina to be the first liberal arts university for Black people, and then just service. We love service. That's what our school is surrounded by. If you haven't heard it, truth is service. Ego Pride Amplified. We love service. So going out into the community is our family too. The city of Durham is our family. That's how we put it. It's way bigger than just North Carolina Central University. We have a historically Black high school down the road. So yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. So it sounds to me as if the fabric of what you guys are is based on upliftment of the community within you. Is this is just a curiosity question. You just said that there is a historically Black high school not too far from North Carolina Central. Is there like a pipeline? Is there a relationship whereby those students most likely end up at North Carolina Central? This is just me being curious.
Yes, we actually do have a pipeline. Durham Public Schools, along with North Carolina Central, we have a great collaboration. I actually taught at the historically Black high school, which is called Hillside High School. We have a great relationship. We do a lot of community service with the school. So, yeah, we have a great connection. Students typically do come, and if not, they go up the road probably. But we do have a strong community bound between the university and the high school.
So you may not have seen this episode, but there was a gentleman. He is at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and he is clearly not attending an HBCU, because I do like to have voices of, you know, HBCU Connect is what we call them at the podcast. And that's people who may not necessarily be at an HBCU or did not graduate from an HBCU, but are connected to an HBCU one way or another. And for somebody, he's black. And for somebody, Olu Kopano, for those who want to check out his episode, was a really, really good episode. Olu Kopano, for somebody who's black but at a PWI, spoke very highly of that triangle of schools that exist there, and how he actually finds himself getting the best of both worlds, because even though he's at a PWI, he goes to these other spaces. So I'm going to ask you, Marquez, do you find that North Carolina Central students like yourself also go to the PWIs, or is it only a one-sided engagement?
No, so the crazy thing about it, living here in the RDU, in the triangle of all this greatness, we have two private HBCUs, Shaw University and State Augustine, and then we have North Carolina Central, along with Chapel Hill, Duke, and North Carolina State. And we often catch each other in the moments. We're always around each other, from student centers to each other's libraries. We're very connected. We have pipelines for certain schools. So yeah, it's a very big connection between all of us.
I love it. So A, I love it. B, I'm jealous because I wish I had that experience. I didn't. I was in a remote part of Frankfort, Kentucky, to be honest. But C, I really love the way there is an exchange, if you will, between all of the entities. That just sounds so rich. It sounds like you guys have a good time and good relationships. I'm jealous, but I'm
We
not going
do, we
back to
do.
undergrad though. I'm not
Especially
going back
us
to undergrad.
HBCUs in the Triangle. We have a great
Yeah,
relationship. From St. Aug to Shaw, we have a great relationship. We go to their school, they come to our school, we hang out. It's absolutely great.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. It's going to be the top of my list now if I have kids. Listen, let's start with North Carolina area first before we go somewhere else. I'm quite serious. I'm so not joking. Um we talked about what your HBCU gets right, and Marquez, it sounds that for you your HBCU gets a lot of things right. It's only fair that I also ask, what does your HBCU not get wrong, but what could your HBCU be working on better? Be and I don't think it's going to change the love you have for your HBCU, but where would you like to see them improve? Where would you like to see them grow?
Yeah. So our campus, if you haven't noticed, we're at Innovating University, HBCU. So we're consistently growing. Our administration, along with our Student Government Association, they work extremely hard to help us students succeed. Academically, we have been working to try to fix our academics and programs, and how we strive to help each other in those programs,
Okay.
from tutoring to other things. And then another thing I think we have to work on is, like I said, we're a community, a university of community, but we
Mm-hmm.
have to watch how we navigate ourselves around our community. So safety is a priority, but also our police chief does an amazing job. Our university police actually help Durham County Police Department. So our school's pretty safe, but just the area is a little shallow, so we have to watch. So our safety concerns are something that's a priority.
Hmm. What's your favorite tradition at North Carolina Central University?
Ooh, my favorite tradition, I would have to say, and I know y'all all probably saw it, but it will have to be the ultimate homecoming Greek Bowl experience after the football game. It is extremely crazy. It's packed out. See everyone across the country. So it's just crazy. It's a fun time to meet alumni, other people visiting for HBC. So the Greek Bowl, most definitely.
Greek bowl. Guess what? I have never heard of it.
The Greek Bowl or the Library Bowl, but yes, you have to look it up. It's very
Greek.
interesting.
So when I hear bowl, I'm thinking a sport. Which sport is it? Is it football?
The bowl. So the bowl, is a Greek bowl. So is also known as the library bowl, in the reference. But it's where all of our Greek pots sit at, along with our we have a yard, a quad. So our quad with a gazebo with a fountain where we celebrate 1040s, which is a time we take out to celebrate on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's a really fun experience. So, but yeah, it's our quad basically.
And this happens after your homecoming.
Yes.
Okay, so I said this last year. It's happening this year. I need to hit up the homecomings in North Carolina this year because they're these staple traditions that I'm hearing that a number of you have, that you guys literally have gathered around and love so much, and I know nothing about them, and it makes me slightly jealous, and I'd like to actually experience one of them. So I'm going to change that this year. Hopefully, I'm going to change that this year.
We
Yeah,
welcome you.
we
We love everyone. We welcome
yes.
you.
I'm gonna come looking for you, Marquez, when we come down. Like seriously. Okay, Marquez. It's 2024, and because it's 2024, I think that I will be doing an injustice if I don't ask every single person that we speak to what their thoughts are on the political climate. It's an election year. It's an election year. At least the time you and I are having this conversation, the Democratic candidate is Joseph Biden, the current president, and it is looking like the Republican candidate is going to be round two, Trump, Trump v. Biden. What are your thoughts? What are just your general thoughts on the political climate in the US? Because I sincerely believe that young Black voices have a lot to say about politics, but we don't give them a mic to talk about it. So we don't get to hear what they're saying, especially if it is not towing the Democratic line. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts?
It's kind of crazy for me. I'm actually non-binary, so I'm independent. But I don't say it too much. Um, I'm actually quite stuck. I think um, both of them are too old to be in office, um, and we've had a good slash bad experience with Trump, and then we've had a pretty bad presidency this past few years. I'm in the vote, and I'm not gonna say, but I think Nikki Haley would be a great candidate for the
Hmm.
Republican Party. Like I said, I did grow up in the state of South Carolina. She did lead my great
She
state of
was
South
your
Carolina.
governor.
She
Oh,
was my
God,
past
that's
governor,
true.
so she has led South Carolina. She has helped South Carolina a lot. Especially she tried to fight against the Common Core standards when they were put in place. So I actually I'm going with Nikki Haley.
Nice, nice. So if you heard, because I get dinged like man, Dr. Tosin, you just keep on throwing the Biden and Trump at them. I didn't. I simply asked you to give us your viewpoints, and I am pleasantly surprised. And I say pleasantly surprised because you did not choose either. And the pleasant part is that you spoke your own voice. I've been saying to anybody who has ears, the young Black students that I talk to, the young Black voices that I talk to, guys, they have a very specific opinion about what's going on. But I don't necessarily know if we're doing enough to listen to what they have to say. And I literally just heard you take both choices off the table and say the one that seems to be slightly lagging behind is the one you actually prefer, and that's Nikki Haley. By the time everybody hears this episode, we do not know exactly what our choices will be. But I really hope that more and more people are listening to the Marquezes of the world who are young Black voters in the United States of America and are listening to the choices they would like to see. and not just the choices that we're being given. Marquez, please go
If
ahead.
I put it up there, if Emily Crockett, this House of Representative for Texas, was on the ballot, that would have been my first choice.
Emily Crockett. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to find out who that is and study up on her.
That
Emily
would be my
Crockett.
first choice.
Guys, you do not know what this is doing to me. We keep on here, not we, not me. They keep on telling me, oh, young black kids are apathetic to politics. They're apathetic to politics, and that's not true. And I thank you, Marquez, for educating the world that no, we care. We may not necessarily care in the way you do, but we actually do care about what's going on. I appreciate that. So that tells me that those messages that we, as in the old heads, have been sharing about how important your vote is, it actually did work because you guys do care about your vote.
Yes,
All
we do.
right. I want to take this back to the HBCU space for 2 seconds, if that's okay. Um, ah, Marquez is starting all over again. And don't get me wrong, you're not that far removed from being a freshman, but you now have a little bit of hindsight to look back. What would you have done differently, if anything? If nothing, perfectly okay. But if not, what would you have done differently as an incoming freshman to college?
Incoming freshman, I would tell myself to continue to be a leader, but also worry about academics. What I failed to do coming into my freshman year would have been my leadership. I received my leadership position and I had to realize what the true definition of leadership was. And so, what I reevaluated myself my second semester, I saw what it took to be a student leader and a HBCU leader rather than just a student who's a leader at your HBCU.
Okay, you said a lot. I want you to educate me based on what you now know. What how would you best define a good student leader?
Take out the position. Don't think about position. Remember, you're there for your academics, but also remember that you're there to get work done for your student body. Um, be that person that stands up for them, and don't try to shadow away because somebody tries you to. Do what you have to do academically and when you're in office or in your position to better your organization, better yourself, and better surround yourself with those people who are willing to work.
Marquez, I hear action and I hear voice in your definition of a good student leader. I hear put the title down. Yes, you have the title. Yes, this is what you are. But put the title down. We need you to act. We need you to, first of all, be an example by getting your academics together. And then we need you to be an active advocate for the persons that you are supposed to be advocating for. And then use your voice when you know exactly what it is you're supposed to be leading them to do. Did I get that summary right?
Got it right on the dot, correct?
Okay, I love it. I love it. You're a good teacher. Remember you're going into education. You're a good teacher. I was able to summarize accurately exactly what it is you were imparting. So I give myself an A plus. You're a
A
good teacher.
plus.
Who just says they give themselves an A
I
plus?
give you an A plus.
Thank you. You give me an A plus. I'll take it. Thank you so much. Listen, Marquez, I'm having fun, but I know we kind of have to wrap up in a little bit. Um, is there something? It could be a project. It could just be something on your mind that I have not done a good job of addressing in this podcast or in this episode. Leave the audience, share something with the audience that you're like, hold on, I needed her to ask me this, or I needed us to talk about this and we didn't talk about it. What is it?
Um, what I would have to say is that serving in this capacity, like I told you, I serve as the Associate Vice President of Historically Black Colleges and Minority Serving Institutes for the State of North Carolina, Association of Student Governments. Me and my VP, we are proud to announce to all those watching in the years to come that we will be dropping our BIPOC project for all public UNC schools. So that basically means we'll be highlighting minority leaders at these HBCUs and MSIs with a scholarship and basically to better help them for all their hard work that they're doing at their institutions.
Congratulations. That's important. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like that something like that exists in the state of North Carolina for persons like yourself and your vice president to be able to deliver on. That's brilliant. Marquez, finish this sentence for me. You ready? In 5 or 10 years, I will. So pick whichever one.
I will be a principal working on my PhD in higher education to one day become a chancellor or vice chancellor of student affairs.
He was ready for that question. I didn't tell him. I did not tell him beforehand. I did not tell Marquez that that's what that question was going to be. But if you're watching and not just listening, he didn't let me finish, guys. He actually was chomping at the bits to just start answering the question. So that means that that is something he is passionate about because he was ready. I look forward to celebrating you in that space. I look forward to saying Principal Marquez Charles. And I look forward to saying Dr. Marquez Charles, since that's something that you want to pursue. I wish you the absolute best.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
close us out, Marquez, by blessing our audience with one word or short phrase on why you, Marquez Charles, loves HBCUs.
The reason why I love HBCUs because guess what? If you ain't, no, that was horrible. The reason why I love HBCUs is because we're empowered, we're black, and we're excellent.
I'll take it. Empowered Black excellence. Marquez Charles, this has been amazing. To every viewer, to every listener, thank you for tuning in to I Love My HBCU question mark. I know if you can't tell, I've enjoyed this conversation with Marquez Charles of North Carolina Central University, and I hope you've enjoyed watching and listening as well. I also hope that I have earned the pleasure of you subscribing to I Love My HBCU question mark. And how could you not like this episode with Marquez Charles on it? Yours in HBCU love. I look forward to seeing you next episode. Marquez Charles, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to I Love My HBCU question mark. Let's keep the conversation going as we share our stories and encourage more practical support of HBCUs, whilst of course holding each other accountable. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for the latest episodes. Until next time, love and lift your HBCU.